let's turn all this brown into something really pretty, pink, and perfect for Valentine's Day or any time of year. You can even use these at the Christmas or the holiday period. Hello everyone, I'm Caroline, and today, as you can see, I've done a bit of prep. I've cut myself out lots of cardboard hearts. This one, I've cut the outside off. There's a good reason for that. And I'm going to turn all this drab brownness into something perfect for Valentine's Day. So let's get started. And I think a nice easy one is in order to start us off. So I've got this piece of paper. It's blue on the back, pink on this side, and it says table of contents. I've also got this frame, and I've taken the glass out, taken the back out, pop those up there for the moment. No, pop that one up there for the moment. I'll get it right in the end. And I'm going to take this little hangy thing off. We don't need that. Then I'm going to get out with my glue stick, if I can find it. I've got so many things around because I've been prepping all morning. And now I'm going to cover this with glue and then glue the paper onto this. So it's got a really nice backing. Now you've got a few options here. You can paint this. You can stick lots of different pieces of paper or make like a collage. You can even stick a picture. If you're going to make this as a Valentine gift for, say, somebody you live with, then you can always take a picture of your house and then fade it out before you print it, if you're any good on the computer. And then you can put this decoration over the top. It'll give it more of a personal look. I think this needs to go about there. As usual, try and line up one side because it just saves you cutting that one side. Give it a good push. I'm going to try this with my blade. I think I need a new one, but I haven't got time to change it this morning, so we'll use this one. Yeah, it's cutting nicely. Whoops, try not to wander off. And sometimes you need to give it another run because it hasn't gone through, especially if, like me, you really do need to change a blade. And what, you know, oh no, it's gone. I thought that corner was stuck as well. So we'll keep that for another time. Pop your blade back. If you've got a lid or a top for your blade, always put it on. I can't find mine, so I always put mine face down in my pot. So now we've got this. It's a bit boring, isn't it? But I'm going to change that up. I've got here, dig it out again from my pile, a box I picked up. I don't know if I got the price still on it. It was originally $2.99. I think I paid 50p for this. And inside are lots of hearts. Some of them are a bit grubby. You can see the state on the box, but I don't mind. You get such a bargain when you buy things like this. You don't mind tolerating a little bit of grubbiness. You can always give them a wipe over if they need it. I think it's mainly dust. And some bits like almost composted grass. I think these have been stored in a barn. So they're clean enough, I think. So now I'm going to put these on. Look at that one. It looks dirty and it's not actually the pattern on the stone. And it's going to be simple, but don't worry if you can't get these because I'm going to show you a way you can do this without using stones. So I've got some white, some grey. How many greys? I've got 3 greys, so I can do that with the greys, couldn't I? 3, 3 and 3. Oh, I've got 4. Let's see what this looks like. Make sure you're happy with your placement. If you're not, then keep playing about with it. Now, there is a problem here. I think I'm better off just going for 1 grey standing out. And I like this one with a diagonal line on. So, do I put it up the top there? Oh, I'm 1 white, 1 short. Am I? I thought I had more. There's 1 more hiding behind there, just enough. So I can glue those into place there. Now you can put this in the middle, but there is something called the rule of thirds. And if I explain that to you, if you divided this into 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3 this way, where these sections cross, so there and there really are your ideal places. So a third of the way down, a third of the way in, on each corner, they're your ideal places for something that's different, like a focal point. And you can see there, that looks a bit bog standard. If I pop it up in that, there, I think that adds a lot more interest. You can put it in other places, the other places for your rules of third. I'm not so keen on that. I think it's because I just like to see it. It's okay there, it's almost like a full stop to the sentences. No, I don't like it there. So either there or there. I think I'm going to leave it last. I like that. So we can get rid of the other ones of those. Now I do have, now this may be a push too far, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to come around the edges with my red ink pad, just to give them a little bit more depth and interest. It's too far to go in there. Get my dauber a little bit there. I hope this is okay now, because if not, I'm stuck. I haven't got another one to replace it with. Yeah, I like that. So I'm going to just ink out all the edges. You may want to go really crazy on this and put loads and loads on. I just want it to look almost like a shadow. And I think that really makes it look much more three-dimensional, even though obviously they are three-dimensional. And that's why I got rid of the glass as well. If you don't get rid of the glass, you can't actually get it back on, because these are quite thick. My poor ink pad, as you can see, I went over something black before it was dry. And now I got black splodges on my ink pad. But it still works. And I love inking. It's such a therapeutic thing to do. Like, I'm trying to go a little bit faster today because you're all watching. But normally, I just like settling down and doing the inking and really enjoying the process. And it's even nicer with paper, because I love the flicky sound when you ink paper. So what would you have done? Would you have put this red along the outsides of your heart-shaped pebbles or not? And it's worth you checking. Sometimes in the thrift stores or charity shops, you'll find little bowls of stones and shells, and they'll have these in. So it just adds an extra value thing that you're getting then. If you buy one of those for the stones, you've got some of these, pop these separately, and you've got yourself a nice supply of hearts. I'm not going to put it around the grey one, because the grey one is standing out. Oh, just a little tip. If you've got one of these, this is a lid of some sort of tub. Can't remember now, it's years since I started using it. And it fits that nicely so it doesn't dry out and it doesn't get ink all over wherever you store your dauber thing. So now out with my glue gun. And we're going to try to get these fairly lined up. But then again, you know me, so they probably won't be. But they'll be near enough. So let's glue the centre one on. I'm going to put a fair amount of glue on the back, because I want these to stick nice and firm. This is probably nowhere near the centre, but we shall find out. This is such a nice, easy craft to do, that it's relaxing. Sometimes they get a little bit technical. Oh, my scissors is clattering away. My glue gun's got a really wonky lead on it, and every glue gun I've ever had has had a lead that doesn't stay straight, kinks up, and then it keeps pushing your glue gun over. You think by now somebody would have come up with a flexible lead that is brilliant for holding a glue gun, but they haven't. I'm nearly there. This is so easy. And then you've got to decide, are you going to embellish or are you not going to embellish? And that's a difficult one. I like the simplicity of this myself. I've already made that decision. I'm not going to embellish. What would you do? Would you put a bow on each little heart, or just one bow? You could put something central on the grey one. But I think he stands out all on his own without worrying about that. Look at all these bits. Now, where's my frame gone? Put it out of the way. I can't find it now. There we go. So now just pop this back into the frame. So now, complete with all these glue strings, which we'll get off later. I usually forget to do that until I filmed this up on my display area. And I'm like, oh no, I got glue everywhere. So there you go. And I love that. It's so simple. And as I say, you could add a bow. What I got here is I can tie into a makeshift bow. Let's try this one just to give you a little example. It's not going to be a very neat bow. It's not even going to be the right way. But you could put a bow there. You could put a bow on the side there. This one, first thing I'm going to do is put something on to back it, and I got a sheet of old music paper, Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. Ooh! So do I leave the words on? I don't think I'm going to, because I want the feature of this to be the music, not the words. If that said something like, I don't know, Dance of Love or something like that, I'd leave it on. But it doesn't. So now, same process. I find crafting very noisy in a lovely sort of way. I love all the tactile noises. Crinkly packets being opened, paper being shuffled, clattering of bits of wood on the tabletop. It's just, oh, I find that really fulfilling. But I can imagine how some people will find it a bit irritating. I seem to be an awful way off camera today. So now I'm going to stick this, got bits everywhere, stick this onto my backing board, and let's see, I want to make sure I got some music there, but I want to make sure it's roughly straight. And that's about it. And out with my knife again and cut around it. So far, very simple. So far, the sort of thing that if you haven't got music paper, whoops, concentrate. Nearly chop my finger off then. If you haven't got music paper, you can use a sheet out of a magazine with just the right colours on, or you can use some of your papers, 12 by 12 you need for this one. You can even get a piece of paper and paint it yourself. You can either use mark making on it or just do some wet in wet watercolour. So that all the colours merge together from light pinks to dark pinks through to red. There's always ways of doing things cheaply. You don't have to spend a fortune on crafting. And there you've got your backing. But what you do if you haven't got any heart-shaped stones, you get yourself a heart-shaped punch. Now, I've only got a little one. I would rather these being slightly bigger, but that doesn't matter. So I'm going to get some papers and punch out some heart shapes. Let's have a look for some pretty pinks. I don't think there's a lot of pink in this one. I'm sure I saw some somewhere. It's not really pink enough for me. Pink umbrellas. Might be a bit solemn, sounds like the rain. Oh, I got some of those. That's pretty. So I'll have a sheet of that. You don't need a lot of paper for this. You really don't need to be using the 12 by 12. It's the ideal way to use up your 6 by 6 papers. I love this book. The only thing is, I never want to commit myself to actually cutting it up, and I think, come on, you've got to do it. So I'll use some of this. And should we use that pink spotty one? Why not? Oh no, we won't. We'll use the other side of that. Or is that too purple? I'll think about it. Oh, I like this. That's going to look lovely. Oh no, it's done it again. I like that as well. So I think one more pattern. What should we go for? And then the repeats then. So we'll go for this with a real rich pattern on, I think. But look at that. It's terrible. I don't like double-sided papers. They always make me sad when I have to cut them and make that decision. Now, out with my heart stamp. If you want to see what you're cutting with your stamp, turn it up that way, and then you can pick where you want. That doesn't look very exciting, but that's nice. So cut that bit and that bit and that bit, and I'm just going to go right the way around the outside once, picking my nice bits, and all the rest then can go away. You can cut around these later, and they make lovely little tags with heart holes in them. Ones, we don't really need to see what we're doing there, do we? I don't think there's any difference in what you cut, whatever you do. Ooh, this is such fun. Whee! Look at the way they jump. I love it. Boing! So now I got a pile of little hearts. Bring back my backing board, and now you can decide on whether you want to put them in an order, like on my last one. This is nice because it's got some lines. Now, see there, I left one in and I thought, I bet I'm going to chop that. I chopped it. Put that there. I suppose you could use it like that to make a joined up one if you accidentally do that. So the options are whether to put this, you could put a row of the same ones or a complete jumble, or you can just put them all over the place. I wonder what they look like all over the place. Always put them into place first and decide, yep, I like that, because otherwise you could end up with something you don't like. You can even do them surrounding, just put a floral display in the middle and then put them around the outside. Actually, I think I like that idea. Right, okay, take those back off. I've got a bunch of white flowers here. I got these bunches in a French flea market or street market. Somebody bought them for their wedding and they were selling these off for 50 cents, about 50p a bunch. And I thought, right, I'll have loads of those. We could use that really big excessive rose, couldn't we? Let's have a look. Oh, take it off. What do you think? Is that going to be too white? Okay, I'm back. I got some pink pom-pommy ones. Let's try those. And if we put those all around then. Yeah, I like that, but it still needs a little something. So what should we go for? I'll put some of these white buds with it. Have a look. Yes, that might be nice. It also needs a little bit of bow, doesn't it? Needs some lace. Yeah, I think that's going to look nice. I think I'll do that. At the moment, I think I'll do that. I may change my mind. I think cream may be nicer. Let's have a look if I got a creamy coloured lace. Yes, I think that'll be nice. But you can do whatever you like. You can just stick one big red rose in the middle. That would be very romantic. Red roses are romantic. And expensive. Wow, the price on long-stemmed red roses is rather high. Pop this into place. There. Pop another glue stick in. And now, the only problem with these, they are a little grubby. You see, they were stored, so they're not as pretty as they could have been. And is that green not working? Put the green sepals off. Yes, I prefer that. I think I need to take that little end off as well. Sometimes you take these ends off and they completely fall apart, but as long as you put a big bludger glue on and glue them straight into place, it usually holds them together. Put that one there. Take the sepals off this one. Chop the knobbly end off. Bits dangling on me. And nice big wood glue. Pick up the petals and pop it in there. Oh, it almost looks like a bow, doesn't it? I like that. So now it's just a matter of figuring out where I'm going to put these out with my glue stick. And I think I'm going to go, bits everywhere. I'm going to go around the outside. So decide on a nice, where are all these bits coming from? They're everywhere. And I think I may stick to just those actually. They're quite pretty. And there. So how many is this all together? 8 hearts. So I really have punched far too many hearts. Still, if I suddenly need a heart now in the future, I won't need to punch them. And you could ink around these with red, but I don't think they need it. I prefer them like this. Again, minimalist for me. Ooh, isn't it funny how we change? I go through phases. Sometimes I like to have lots of old-fashioned looking things. Sometimes I think, oh, I fancy some modern when I'm at my crafting. My home is generally modern. But that doesn't mean I don't like the look on older things, shabby chic farmhouse. So we got that there. Now you've got the option, you could just roughly ink over it, put some blobs on of red ink. But I think for me, again, that's enough. Pop that back in the frame. Remove the piece of paper that's stuck to it. But I love that. I think it's not too simple. It's much easier than going out and trying to find yourself some heart-shaped stones. So you can use these. You can even punch them out of craft paper, something like that. Or you can put pink on and punch these out of music paper. It would look just as good. now I've got this heart shape I cut out of an Amazon box, and then I cut another heart shape out on the inside. Pop that out, and I've got 2 hearts. So I can do 2 crafts with 1 piece of cardboard. You can get some really lovely thick wool. Oh, look at this shape of my camera. Straighten yourself up. You can get some really lovely thick yarns. I can't find any around here at the moment, so I'm going to use my thin yarn, which is really frustrating because the only thing it means is going to take me at least twice as long to cover this heart-shaped wreath. So I'm going to cut myself loads off, but not too much because it gets very frustrating otherwise. It takes you so long to get it through each time, if you see what I mean, or you will do in a couple of seconds. So fold it in half and then put the loop through, poke the ends through the loop and pull. And now it's attached. I'm just going to go all the way around this with this wool or yarn. It's funny, I grew up calling any sort of yarn wool. We always did. And then when I got into knitting as an adult, and I started to go on, I went on Ravelry. I used to enjoy being on Ravelry when I could knit and sew. Well, knit and crochet, not sew, isn't it? Then I learned that no, people call it yarn. You only call wool wool when it's made of wool. Oh, there we go. So this is acrylic yarn. It's like a furry, eyelashy type thing. It's not too thickly eyelashed. I love it because it's an ombre. You can see there, if you're actually going to knit or crochet something with it, you can imagine how pretty that would be on a scarf, say, going from one colour to the next. But unfortunately, I don't knit or crochet anymore. Wonders of having thumbs that don't like doing it anymore. So I just use it for all my crafts. So just go around here, and I'm not going to bore you with wrapping this right the way around the whole of my heart. Could get a little tedious. So I'm going to turn the camera off now, and I'll be back when this is completely covered. And you can see the process, so it's really not that difficult. It's just time consuming. And this is what you end up with. A very cute, very fluffy heart-shaped wreath. So I'm going to take more of this yarn, and then same sort of principle, fold in half, make a loop, poke the ends through the loop, give it a tug, make sure that comes to the centre. These may spread out a bit, but that doesn't matter as long as your hanger is in the centre, it'll hold straight. And now, we just need to do some decoration, and the possibilities are endless. I've got some buttons up here, I can get them down. And you could put some pretty pink buttons all the way around, or you could just put a feature button, look at that one, at the top. I think I'm going for flowers on this one. I've got a few. You don't need a lot of flowers. There's no need to overdo it at all. Now, this is great because these came on the same pick, and so you know they're going to coordinate. I love that sort of thing. So I'm going to chop these off and then figure out how they're going to look best. I think that one will pull out, won't it? Yep. And there's a bit to chop off the end. Got this big pink one here, chop the bit off the end. Bing. I think I'll put those like that. Not symmetrical. I don't want to put 3 on, it'll be too much. So I think a little bit of interest by not having them symmetrical won't harm at all. So those 2 in like that. And then what do I do with these little ones? I think I'll have those hanging down like that. Yeah, I think that'll look pretty. Oh, there's enough glue in there. If I poke that up, I think it's going to hold it in place. So I don't even need to add any more glue. And then I've got these little, I can never remember, are these catkins or pussy willows? One or the other. I'm always loath to use these because I don't know where I could get any more. I've had them for a while now, and you can see this is my last piece, and I'm coming down to my last few fuzzy bits. I think I'll put these facing upwards like that. Let's take that lump off there. It'll glue on easier. A little bit of hot glue. And there. And some on the other side. There. And I think that's lovely. You can put some words on if you like. I'm not a huge fan of putting words on things. I don't mind on journals, but on crafts, I don't know. I prefer them without. Why is that slipping round there? Right, it's not staying where I want it to go. So if it doesn't stay with that little push, I can always add some more glue and make it do what I want it to do. That was getting a bit squashed, isn't he? Never mind, he'll be fine. I still think it looks lovely as it is. That one's going the wrong way now. Can't get my flowers and florals to behave this morning. So there we have a really simple and easy to make heart. The only time consuming part is this, and you can always cover it with some tissue paper if you wanted to and a bit of Mod Podge, or you can use a much thicker yarn and it'll take no time at all. So I love that. Quick, easy, and so romantic, so Valentine's Day, isn't it? I think it's really cute. For this next quick and easy Valentine's craft, I've got another heart, and when I cut this out, I made sure that the ridges of the cardboard are running horizontally. Horizontal just means the same way as the horizon. And I've got myself 2 lollipop sticks or popsicle sticks. So out with my ink pad. You can paint these if you want to. Paint them up pink, but ink is so much quicker. You can also use a marker in red or pink and colour them in with markers, and that's really quick as well. Nice little effect there, and I quite like the fact it looks more like a stained wood than a painted wood anyway. You're not going to see a lot of it, but if you do see it, then I think it's a nice look. And pop those up there and forget about those for a minute while they finish drying, so you'll have less red on your hands. So now I want to divide this heart into 3. So if I measure the height from top to bottom, so it goes from there down to there. So it doesn't really easily divide into 3. So I'm just going to have to wing this. So if I go from this bit, and we got 15, so I'm going to go 5 centimetre increments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It can be an awful long bit at the top. Right, okay, so I'm going to go for 6. So if I start at the bottom, 6 and 12-ish. It doesn't have to be completely accurate, fortunately, because I'm not a completely accurate person. And now you've got the help of these lines when you cut your cardboard. So line that up, out with your X-Acto knife. I wonder if these will bend. Oh, that could make it a bit easier. I can go in the bend now. Let's try cutting that out, see how that goes. Still going to use my knife and a straight edge, because otherwise knives tend to wander off where they want to go. Cut through the back. It's easier than otherwise you keep pressing and pressing trying to cut. And there are only a few places where it hasn't actually cut. It's there, and then if we bend this one, there. Oh, this bent over 2 lines. Oh well. In with my blade. I'm going to go to that line, I think. And chop. And hopefully these are roughly horizontal. Just chopping up like that. And now I'm going to cover these with some paper, and I got 3 gorgeous papers. Look at these. They're completely different, but they all go together so well. I love this. So I'm going to cover each piece in a different piece of paper. And I think you can play before you even start that. You can play about with the order of things. So go like that, go like that. But I think definitely the pattern in the middle. So am I going to go for lighter on the top or the bottom? Oh, I don't know. Let's get the middle piece covered. There we are. So decide which side I'm going to use. That side, I think. So we need to glue this into place with a glue stick. I used to use mainly Aileen's tacky glue. But when I can use a glue stick now, I do, because it dries quicker. And if you've got a good quality one like this Scotch one, it sticks almost as good as Aileen's. So I keep my Aileen's for my journaling. Not sure how it works out cost-wise, because Aileen's tacky glue seems very expensive, but then it seems to last forever. So I don't know. I don't know which is the best value for money. Which ones do you think? Do you use one or the other? And if so, do you think one is better than the other? Do you think one is cheaper than the other? So that's my middle bit of my hearter. I'll put that paper down there. And now let's have a look. That's going to go there and there. I'm thinking I should put the light at the bottom, but I think I'm liking it at the top. Or is it? No, I'm liking dark at the top. Dark at the top. Come on, make a decision. I'm going for dark at the top. So turn that over. Don't glue it on the wrong piece. And plenty of glue stick. You can use a hot glue gun for this too, but I find if you're gluing paper and card, it can leave it quite bumpy and lumpy. It's not so nice then. Pop that on the edge there. Press it down and then cut it out. Cut this one out roughly first and then cut it in. When you, oh, it's very difficult to get the curves. I can't cut a circle out to save my life. I'm terrible at cutting circles. Are you the same, or have you got a lovely smooth wrist action when it comes to cutting? There's nothing smooth about my wrist action when it comes to cutting. My curves look more like zigzags. There we go, that's pretty good for me. Got some glue marks on there. There we go, that's a bit round. And then finally, no decision process. It's already been made for us. This is going on the bottom. And I want the lines coming this way, vertically. So pop that on there. Yep, that'll be fine. On with a bit of glue. I always end up getting glue all over my hands, whatever glue I use. And then you don't realise your desk is so grotty until you pick your hands up and you find they're rather grey and grim. Look at that. Look at the colour on my thumb. Give it a bit of a wipe. It just goes to show with the colours on these. I've only just started using them and they're already quite grim. Right, that's in place. Chop it out. And then on the edges, you've got the card. Now, first thing I would suggest is that you cut inwards like this, just so that you're not going to see any of this darker sticking out in front of the colour. See if I can find some that is sticking out. There, you can see that one sticking out. So just come around and cut in at a sort of 45-degree angle. It just makes that disappear a bit better. There are other options. I like to put some cording around, something like that, but I don't have any pink. I've got blue and I've got yellow, but no pink. So it's going to have to be happy the way it is. So by cutting this like this, it does mean that it hides them a little. If you're using a white card, you can always use some ink on it then. And also you can always go over it first with a lighter paper, like a tissue paper, and then it'll hide it anyway. It'll be covered in tissue paper. Come right round to the front and then put this over the top so the sides will be covered. Or masking tape, I think you could use. So that's done like that. Now, out with my ink pad. And I'm going to ink the edges. It is so much quicker if you use the whole pad. But it is difficult then, like there. I'm going to have to get my dauber out, just use the inside on there because it won't go in the dip. Speaking of the dip, did any of you ever see the programme with Jack D? And it was like out in the country, or it was a song they sang. I can't remember what it was. And they moved from the city out into the country for a peaceful life. And it didn't quite work out. I loved that programme. And you had their crazy pop star friend, and right the way through you were willing him to come out and be a nice person, and it didn't look like it was going to happen. And I won't tell you if it happens in the end or not, in case you haven't watched it. There we go, on with a little ink like that. Yep, and you can see it straight away, it just adds again a little bit of depth. Right, now You're going to put these face down on the desk, like that. Try to make them, put them where they would have been and slide them down a little bit. Ooh, not sure how much. A centimetre's too much and I've not got a smaller marking on my desk. Right, so what I'm going to do is get this book, because I only want a tiny bit of a gap, just to say there's a gap. Put my book there. Try to line that up there. And is that going to work? Oh, not really. They don't want to stay put. No, that didn't work because it moved that one. Ah, it's going to have to be by eye. Right, my recommendation, do it by eye. So now I want 3 blobs of hot glue in a row. And move them again, look at that. It's very difficult to keep them in place. And then pop your lollipop stick on. Then get your other lollipop stick. Now you're going to put this onto the stick. 2, 3, not all the way down, and then you haven't got to worry about it being in exactly the right place. Just 1 blob per section. Pop it on. Push it on. And try to have them straight. Mine are not. I suppose I could have put a bigger gap in, really. Shall I take it apart and put a bigger gap? I am really tempted. Let's see if I can take this back off. Sort of. Come on, come on. Don't snap. Yeah, I'm going to do a bigger gap. I fancy a bigger gap. Let's have a look. Oh, I'm going to go for a fairly substantial gap. I'm going to go for there, I think. Ooh, there's daring. And if I decide this is too long now, it's staying, okay? I promise I won't make you watch again. It's good, though, to see that you can do things and then just undo them and redo them. Don't think, oh, I've ruined it now. If you don't like it, change it. There we go, perfectly lined up. How dare anyone accuse me of altering it 3 times? It's fine, it's done now. So now we just need a little bit of decoration on that. And I've got this lace. Is it going to make it? Not at that height, it isn't. It's a bit low there. So I'll put that on there, like that. What I like about this, I love this. I wish I could get more of it. It's already got a glue strip on the back. So I'll pop that there. And then trim it off. Whoops, I've glued it to the table. Like that. I've got this darker that I can put on there. So I'll put that in the middle, I think. Do that there. And I need 1 more at the top. Is this too thick? It's not the right colour, is it? What about just a piece? Oh, I know. I'm going to do a piece of ribbon and then a bow. Right, chop the ends off there. And then a little two-loop bow. One of my favourite quick and easy bows. I know, it's not like me to be putting a bow on this. I've been resisting the urge. I've been bow free so far this morning, but now I've cracked. I'm putting a bow on. Put my bow on there. And then you can either stand this up on like a, if you've got one of those little mini easels, something like that. Or you can hang it up by putting a hanger on. Whatever you fancy. And what I am going to do, it's up to you here, but rather than just let that hang, I'm going to put a little blob of glue there. And then make sure there's a bit of a loop in the ribbon. And then glue it in place. And it just gives it more of a 3-dimensional look. A bit of glue there. A bit of a kink in the ribbon. And then glue it into place. And then you can see that these are completely the wrong length. So even them up. Like that. And I love that. It looks much more substantial than it actually is. It's only cardboard, but it looks amazing. So I really like that. If I was going to do anything different, I would have probably painted those sticks pink, but I don't know. I like the wood showing through. Maybe I'd have put a bit more ink on. But I love that. I'm very happy with that. this small bit of heart. I think this came from the middle of the other heart. I can't remember. I've got so many hearts around here. I cut out loads. I thought, well, I can worry about that later. What I'm going to do with them. I can use up as many as I need on this video, and then I've got them there ready. So I've got this old piece of book page, and it's not wide enough, is it? Which is a shame, because I wanted to put it across the heart, so I think I'll use this last piece of music score. And the fact it doesn't come to the top doesn't matter. So on with some glue. And it won't hurt if you go above where the paper's going to be, because ultimately we're going to be putting something else on there anyway. So pop that there and then cut it out. You'll see what I mean now. That wasn't very well explained, was it? But I know what I'm on about. Nobody else in the world does, but I know. Come around. And all these little bits are handy if you do journaling or anything like that. I'm going to think, oh, I'm wasting all this paper. There we go. You waste very little if you do journaling as well as crafting. Cut into the V. Like that. And now I'm going to get, where was my pretty pink with lines on? Can anybody remember when I put my pretty pink with lines? I can't. Right by the side of me. I bet you're all shouting, it's by the side of you. So now I'm going to figure out roughly how wide this needs to be, which is about here. And then I'm going to tear it. But when I tear it, I'm going to tear the bit I don't want upwards. And that way then you get a white line. So I'm just going to come across here. I may need to alter this. I'm not really sure. But I made a start. And this is going to be going up here. I think I'm going to take this even higher along that bit, and then come down to a dip there and around there. Now the reason that I've done it this way is because the bit that got torn upwards hasn't got a torn edge on it. So if you don't want a torn edge, that's the way, but I want to ink this, so this is perfect. Out with my dauber. Oh, I just love that sound. This really is looking more purple all the time. Okay, we give up on that, and I'm going to get a pink one. Where's my pink stripy one? We'll use this one. So if I use it that way, and then here's the bit I don't want upwards, just come along like that. There. Now I'm going to glue the back of this. This is a lovely, simple, easy one to make. And you can use any paper you like for this. See what you've got in your stash or wherever. See what you can cut out of a magazine. Cut around. Again, this would look nice edged. But I don't want to put the colours I've got. I've got like a blue one, I've got a gold one, a pink one. I haven't got a pink one. A yellow one, so really not suitable. This is always awkward cutting this way back here. There we go. Already that's looking lovely. With my sticky bits out of the way. And let's see what we're going to put on next. So now I want to put on something a little bit interesting to cover both parts of this. Just draw it in as being one actual piece of art rather than being sort of two separate bits. So I think I'll tear myself out. I'm just going to tear myself a blob first, and then I'll work out what I'm going to do with my blob. So tear that like that. Make it sort of oval. See what an oval looks like. There, a sort of ovalish, and put that there. Now you can sort all these out before you glue them into place, but I'm going to try just freestyling. Woo, bit of excitement. Oh, there, I think. See, that's what you really should check first. I just wanted to try freestyling and see what I come up with. And I've got some bits of lace, so I think I'm going to put that one across there. So, no, should I put it across there? Have I got enough to go across the top? Yes, I have. Right, I think this is going to have to be hot glue. Try it with little bits of hot glue, see how it goes. Across just below the tip of the heart. Try to get it in the right place. Like that. It's not very straight, is it? If I was in a competition for the most wonky bit of lace, I would win. I would win so many things if they had sensible Olympics that did things like messiest crafter, stickiest glue gun. Saying that, my new glue gun is lasting very well. Look at that. There's hardly anything on it. My old glue gun is twice the weight it was because so many things stuck to it. Like that. I got these hearts, so have a look what you got. You don't have to be restricted by buying new things for this sort of craft. Oh, I think, what if I use these like buttons down the side there? Yes, I like that idea. So, we won't need a glue gun for that, will we? So, pop those. Where's it gone? Oh, there. It's stuck to my glue gun. My glue stick. Look, I can't even speak properly now. There we go. Like that. Yep, I like that. And this, you can't go wrong. Do what you fancy. If you like the look of it, then it's perfect for you. If you don't like the look of it, then alter it. Got this really nice thin ribbon. It's not quite the right pink, is it? I'm going to have to put a little bit more glue down there. Considering I'm working without my finger protectors, I've only got one little blister coming. I'm terrible. I forget, and then I think, oh, I've already burnt myself now. It's hardly worth worrying. So we got that, and now we need to add a little something extra. Yeah, I think I'm going to add this little bit of catkin or pussy willow there. And put a bow on top. Yes, a bow. Which bow, which pink shall I use? I've got some really crazy pink, that's no good. I've got some wide spotty pink, definitely the wrong colour. It's going to have to be a muted tone, I think. Muted pink, and the only muted pink I've got is this one. If I can find the end. So I'll make another 2-loop bow. I've got the option to put some buttons on. Or more hearts. What do you think? Would you stop now, or would you add more bits and pieces? I really think I need to stop after I put this bow on, but I'm going to look and see if there's anything that would improve it. So the hot glue is still hot there, so I can pop that into place. And button. What about a button? Let's have a look. See what buttons I've got here. Let's empty them out. Right, so I got, no, that's just too pink, too bright pink. Oh, that's too cumbersome. Too pale. Too bright pink. Right, so the problem I got then is they're not the right colour pinks. That's awful. But on there, not awful in life, but it really doesn't suit that. No. Right, now I'm stuck. I'm going to have to think of something other than some buttons. Okay, I've got it. I've got this rose here. It's not really a vibrant pink, but it is sort of pink. It's like a dusky pink. I'm going to try putting some glue on the back of this. These are so delicate. Slide them down there. I do this so many times and end up pulling the leaves or petals off. And then this is going to take some fiddliness. There. Bring the bow out. Quick, stick on before you break. And you come round it. Come on, round you come. Like that. Oh, yes. Oh, down you go. Yes, I think that's given it what it needed. And now, of course, we have to go around the edge. Up with my ink pad. Add some depth. And it unifies it all. It's all then got a really nice pink edging on it. So it doesn't feel like lots of individual bits. With my dauber for the V. And now you've got several things you can do with this. You can put a hanger on it, hang it on the wall. You can get a picture frame. Let's see if I got a picture frame. No, I haven't. Right, we've got to pretend that this book here is a picture frame. It's a bit small as well. But you could stick it on the front of a picture frame like that. You could put it on the front of a journal. You could actually make a card with it. You could get some cardstock that was bigger than it, fold it in half. And then you could make a Valentine's card with it. There are so many things you can do with this. You can even make a mobile, make a few of these in different sizes and try to unify it. If you're making a mobile or mobile, make sure you have the same papers running through at least a little bit on each other heart and it'll tie it in. But I love that. So there you go, 5 Valentine's Day crafts that you can use any time of year. And you can just change this up. You can change the colours or the styles of the papers. And you could even make it for some sort of Halloween thing if you want to do it all in blacks and purples and things like that. Or, I suppose, anything at all. Shabby chic by putting a shabby chic bow on it. You could do it country by putting more checks and things like that on it. But perhaps you could paint this up as planks. There are so many things you can do with these. If you've enjoyed watching, then please give me a thumbs up. And I'll see you all next time. But until then, don't forget, happy crafting and have fun. Bye.